there's a motion for me to actually sit down with Hayden and just hear it straight from him about the conditions of your home, how he feels at your home, and also how he feels regarding the parenting schedule. How do you feel about me talking to Hayden about those things?
Typically, Your Honor, I do have a statement that I would like to read off that I have prepared. Due to my ADHD and my dyslexia, it makes it hard for me to communicate in public. So I did prepare a statement so that I can read off. But as to your question, Your Honor, I would like to bring you back to the request for the I did file an amended motion for limited child involvement and therapist consultation in the court proceedings. I do understand that Hayden is 14 years old. However, since he has been 12 years old, he has been systematically, I've been dealing with this since he was 12 years old, sir. If the court would deem that he needs to be spoken with, then I would rather it be done so through his therapist or through a guardian ad litem.
Okay. Well, I can understand that argument. Do you guys, I should say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be that informal. Mr. Gravley, is Hayden sufficiently mature? Is he on track as a 14-year-old, or does he have?
Sir. Absolutely.
Because a point that she make that would be valid is to say he's got some type of problems and he may not be sufficiently matured or emotional.
He's actually more mature than most 14-year-olds.
Okay.
I will agree with that, Your Honor. He is a mature individual. However, due to his age, just because of the situation itself, and because it is a difficult situation, that I would really urge the court to consider to go through his therapist or guardian ad litem, or a combination of both, if he is to be brought into the court again. Please, sir.
Well, but do you think, could you, and I know sometimes it's difficult to take yourself out of your own position and viewpoints and look at it from another person's, but if my goal was to try to do what's best for Hayden, but again, the biggest problem, ma'am, is after what he told me about the conditions of your home, I don't see how I want to hear from the father what he's going to ask me to do, at least for today's purposes, or if I addressed everything. I don't see how you can, and it's not trying to punish you because of your financial situation. It is not. We just got to realize where we are, practically speaking.
So the West Virginia DEP reports mean nothing. The reports from the architectural and engineers mean nothing.
No.
So have you looked at those, Your Honor?
I read them.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I did. I tried my best to go through every page, and I thought to myself, this is a woman trying her best to make a good case, but really doesn't understand the law. So if I'm going to read these and look at all these maps and read everything, it does not change the fact that your home is unsafe.
706 Main Street is safe. I will argue that till the day I die, Your Honor. My Lord is with me, and that's all I can do. I have the Lord with me today, and if that's what you say, then I'm just going by. Well, let me ask you. I'm happy. I would love for you to bring in, have someone come into my house and do just come in and look. Yeah. So send someone out. Send DHHR, please.
Now that I can possibly do.
Please do. Send the DHHR out, and I'm happy.
Okay.
I have had to. I am a Medicaid worker. I am through the Aged and Disabled Workers Program. I take care of my mother full time. We have social workers out there all the time. If there was any concern about the habitation of our home, I would like to think that there would have been something put into the system already to the DHHR regarding this, how safe it is or not, Your Honor.
No, I don't doubt you, and yes, I can send CPS, but I guess my question would be like this. Do you think that Hayden is an honest child?
I think he is honest to a degree, to a fault, yes.
Okay, so I took him as being honest, and I also took, and this is why I don't think that he was telling me something to try to get something over on you, or try to get, I'm choosing dad over mom, is because other than your home, he doesn't have one negative thing to say about you.
I understand.
And I think that, and that's what we got to talk about what to do. And I'm not saying you don't get to see Hayden. He wants to see you. Matter of fact, when I was telling him about the law, I was like, and because one downside to me doing that, Hayden, is what if, a court did that and then you had a 14, 15, 16-year-old child and say, well, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to see my parent. And he was like, he immediately said, no, I'm not saying that. She's my mother. Of course I want to see my mother. So I thought that even that was a good response.
That happened with my 18-year-old. And now I haven't seen him in almost 2 years and he's 20.
Yeah.
That was the same.
I know. I'm sorry.
So I'm trying not to lose my children.
Well,
and I'm sorry that I wanted to make better for myself. And I went to Elkins for a job. Everything was fine until that point, Your Honor. And then I went to Elkins and I listened to the Lord and he told me that I needed to go. And if it wasn't for that fact, December 12th, the building that my children and I would have been living in would have burnt to the ground. We would have been dead if it wasn't for that, Your Honor. No, that was just a month after the November 21st meeting. I listened to the Lord and he saved our lives. And if this means that I just want to be able to have the same type of input that my ex-husband has in my son's life, to be able to be a guiding light just like any other parent would be.
Well, if it's any, just to be sure we're real clear now, ma'am, I'm not holding anything against your move to Elkins against you, and neither does Hayden. I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
I believe Mr. Gravley does.
Well, but he's not said a thing about it yet. Not a thing. Man, I think in a way, and maybe intellectually, like you're very very intellectual, and I almost feel like, let me say this, that you're overthinking everything. You're overthinking this hearing. This is just all about, does the mother have a safe place for Hayden to sleep at night? And the best evidence, I think, is to talk to Hayden, who's a very honest young man, loves his parents, and just described it in detail, along with the pictures that was provided. Your own social media account tells me it's not.
I'm happy to have CPS come in.
Well, the only problem is we didn't do that. Today's our hearing, I guess. Would you want, I guess
I would request another hearing if at all possible, sir. We already have one scheduled for October 17th.
Okay, so you want to keep that one on the book, and then between now and then you would ask me to maybe see if CPS could look into it.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think for now, Mr. Hayden, the relief that I granted should be sustained and continue. However, I would wonder though, as long as, what would your client then say between now and the 17th? As long as he's not staying nights over there, I don't know, would he say, hey, how about between now and the 17th, adopt what the child wants to do, which visit with his mother as he and she can agree on?
Yes.
Okay. Now keep in mind, one thing to keep in mind, not to force him into anything, Mr. Gravley, but one thing our public policy frowns upon is that when we turn something over to a child, and then that child, it slowly decreases their time, and then there's no contact.
I consistently encourage him to go.
Okay.
There's been times that he's not wanted to go on his scheduled weekends.
Right. Encourage him, but so I'm just saying, here's what I'm trying to say. I think the case could hurt you as far as trying to do what Hayden does. Or what Hayden wants is if between now and October he say, okay, we're listening to Hayden and giving him some deference here, and then he never sees his mom. Right. Now, overnight visitations is out of the question.
Right.
Matter of fact, I think that would be harmful. But day visits,
I have no problems with that. Yeah.
Every other weekend, just say day visits.
Even if she wants to come pick him up or anything like that, she absolutely can. She always has been able to. I have never.
All right. So for that October 17th hearing, now I do want to make one thing really clear, and I don't want you to think, Miss Kidd, that I'm picking on you. But now, a lot of at least your earlier petitions, you're talking about Caleb.
Yes, sir. I did file with, one reason why there was so much paperwork. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I didn't need to send all of the phase one PSA, which was 248 pages, but I also sent amended, motions that removed Caleb from,
Consideration.
yes.
Here's the thing about Caleb. He's 18, he's in Morgantown. I don't have jurisdiction.
I understand,
You would concur, Mr. Hayden?
Absolutely.
Now, hopefully, and I don't know, the only exception is if you get an 18-year-old, and that 18-year-old is determined, and I don't think that to be disabled and still at home, I think that the 18-year-old have to be at home. You can make an argument that child support might continue, because it can continue for 18-year-olds still in high school. But I just think all issues regarding Caleb are off the table.
Can I ask a question, sir?
Yeah.
Since there's a question about, his autism diagnosis, since there was a statement that he wasn't, then there was a statement to me that he was, then there was a statement that he wasn't, since I'm confused about whether he is or not. And I know with him being over 18, I can't obtain his medical records. Who would have the jurisdiction for me to try to find out, or am I, because of his age, just not able to find out?
He's an adult.
He's his own adult. I mean, yeah, it's the best.
If she feels like, I think that, I mean, I'm not trying to give legal advice, but I mean, if she feels like that he's incompetent in any way, she can go and file for a guardianship and conservator over the child through mental hygiene or through the.
Yeah, that's the only way.
But I mean, if he's competent, then she's going to be unsuccessful. It's going to be just.
He's right.
Lost energy.
Yeah. And look, it's not the end of the world. I mean, look, Caleb is an adult, and guess what? There's no prohibition against you trying to mend fences if you need to, but it's just outside of the court system. It's now like you're.
I understand, sir. I respect that, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Would you do the order that basically sustains and makes this temporary, grants the relief you requested on a temporary basis, and will come in for a final hearing on the 17th?
Thanks, Judge.
All right, thank you all.